where's a good spot where I can watch a game with friends, grab a beer, and eat some good food?
All right. It's going to be a little off the beaten path, but I'm telling you right now, Big Grove is the place to be.
Well, it's funny you said that because we just partnered with Big Grove to do giveaways over the next month. Each week we'll be doing a giveaway. And in order to be eligible, you have to be following our socials, Instagram, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. Like this post, reshare on your accounts, and tag 2 friends.
It's not that hard, guys. You will have the ability to win a giveaway each week for the next month or so. Go do it right now. It's going to take 10 seconds. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Go.
Hey now, welcome to the City Off Campus podcast with your 2 favorite hosts, Sammy Sommerfeld and Jack McFarland. So today on the podcast, I'm going to give a little bit of Sammy history real quick. So currently what's on TV is the FGCU, University of Southern California, USC basketball game. Andy Enfield, who coached FGCU, Dunk City, to the greatest Sweet 16 run of all time. Sweet 16, not a national championship. Sweet 16, just to be clear, so Jack doesn't comment.
No, they beat Otto Porter in Georgetown. It was pretty cool. I remember that.
Yep. Greatest Sweet 16 run of all time. Returned to Dunk City for the first time in 8 years. The King has come back. And guess what? Dunk City right now, led by Caleb Cotto, the GOAT of FGCU from Cape Coral, Florida.
Is he the one with the man bun?
Yep. They are beating USC by 4 points right now. Let's go. So I'm going to give a few updates during this pod about that. But now going into basketball real quick, back to the Midwest sports. Let's talk about absolutely destroying teams like what FGCU is going to do tonight with the Chicago Bulls beating the Los Angeles Lakers on their home floor. Jack, what's your take?
So I didn't get to watch a lot of it during the game, but I watched a lot of the encore of it. I don't know. I just didn't really do it. And Levine is that dude, and DeMar is the perfect Robin to Levine being that dude. And I think they really showed it last night. I gotta ask, how did Tony Bradley do? That's really all I care about at this point. Because if we're gonna win a game like that, I know
I saw him snag a few rebounds. Let me check the box score real quick.
Okay,
to see how
he
much
snagged a few rebounds.
He put up 27 minutes. Yeah, he got 6 points. He got 9 rebounds. He got 8 defensive rebounds, 1 offensive. I didn't realize it was up to 9. I thought it was 7, but
so he's trending up maybe. But
he had 3 turnovers, but his plus he was in a plus. He was plus 17. DeRozan was plus 17. Ball was plus 25. Caruso plus 28, and Levine plus 33. So who did
the Lakers keep instead of keeping Alex Caruso? Who was it again?
They kept Talon Horton Tucker.
No, I thought it was Trevor Ariza.
KCP. Wait. What are you talking about?
You said that they didn't give a couple pods ago. You said that they didn't give Caruso a contract that made him like a free agent, and instead they got
Ariza, but they had a pick between KCP or whatever and Caruso, in terms of bringing
and KCP is a meme. I don't know how people could ever fully buy into him. I feel like he's taken over the Shaq to a Fool award. JaVale McGee's paved his way to
he's the Hall of Famer. JaVale McGee's the all-time.
Yeah, he's the reigning 2-time whatever, but KCP is the current Shaq to the Fool superstar. What a bad move by the Lakers. And this Bulls team is here to fuck around. They're gonna be a problem all year, I think. And last night, I mean, I really didn't think. I don't think the Lakers are that good. Now, granted, they didn't have LeBron, but it proved that they really aren't a team that can win without LeBron. And when you're built to play with LeBron, I can see why that might be a problem. But they got a lot of good players on that team, and the Bulls were controlling that game. So I think this almost just reaffirms what everybody was hoping with this Bulls team, where it's they're at top 4 seed now, I think, in a lot of people's expectations.
Yeah, well, I've been shocked personally about how well DeRozan has played. I thought he could be a good guy for the team putting up 20, but for him to put up almost 40 in LA, I mean, at LA, and even though LeBron wasn't playing, I mean, it's still not easy to do. I was pretty impressed for him to put up 38 with Lonzo putting up 27, Levine 26. I didn't think that would happen. I thought it would be one or two of them put up mad points a night, and the other one is going to have, between 10 to 12, and it's going to be just, kind of a floppy thing. And the thing with DeRozan with the Spurs was, it was his team, but there wasn't much around him to create shots for him. He just was kind of forcing up some of his own shots, and he was the king of the midi for a little bit. Wasn't really shooting threes, which I understood, but now, I mean, he's shooting some threes, but him playing the midi game works in Chicago compared to San Antonio, because you can have Lonzo and Levine on the perimeter. You can have either of them cut, and you can have DeRozan post up on the top of the key. He was doing it all night against Carmelo, just shooting middies in Carmelo's face, which I loved, because it's like that's what Melo did to people 10 years ago. But it just looked like DeRozan was sniping the ball in the hoop last night. It was just awesome to see, and I was surprised just how effective he was. But dude, the Lonzo full court passes to Levine, ZO2 is entering prime ZO2 years, and I am so excited. I love that he got to do it in LA. I love it. I love he got to just rub it in Braun's face. I mean, he put up 8 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 27 points, plus 25, plus minus. Like, come on, dude. Like, he was 7 from 10 from 3. He shot 7 threes. Lonzo Ball. Think back in 2017, if someone told you that Lonzo Ball would be shooting 10 threes in the game and make 7 of them. Unreal.
There was a good stat that I saw about Lonzo's improvement over his entire career in the NBA. And his first year, he shot 30.5%. His second year, he shot 33%. His third year, he shot 37.5%. Fourth year, he shot 37.8. This year, he's shooting 44.4.
Yes.
So it's like he's really figured out his shooting stroke and how that all works. And he's had every other tool, basketball IQ, and everything that needs to come with a point guard. It's just a matter of getting him some offensive oomph. And like what you said with DeMar just sniping from mid-range, I think that's like also a game plan kind of thing for Billy Donovan. I look here on I have their basketball reference page pulled up, and they have 3-point attempt rate, which is like the percentage of field goal attempts from 3. And the Bulls are the bottom of the NBA at 29th, and how many of them. So it's like the one thing that I thought was really interesting with the Bulls, and I just saw it on their little basketball reference, Maurice Cheeks is an assistant coach.
I know.
And that name
epic
weirdly rang a bell for me.
Yeah,
and the guy played 1,100 games in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like from 78 to 92. That's a career. That's some veteran presence. And that's just a name that for some weird reason I recognize. Oh, 4-time All-Star, Maurice Cheeks. I just hear that name and I go, immediate success. Like he knows how to win. And Billy Donovan, I mean, night and day from what we used to have with fucking what's his face. God, he looked like a Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Jim Boylan.
Jim Boylan.
Good old Jim.
I've already suppressed that nightmare from my mind.
Jeez. So I have a question. Who do you think was the worst Bulls coach, Tim Floyd or Jim Boylan? I go Tim Floyd personally.
I mean, I'm more like experienced Boylan kind of deal.
I said Tim Floyd.
Yeah, but
I was Tim Floyd.
I feel like Boylan's very comparable to like what happened to Collins, and it was just he was thrusted into this position.
Facts.
People were gonna lash him, but Colleton, like he did inherit like a good Blackhawk team, but
Boylan and the Colleton hire, like on the outside looked good. Like, oh, young coach, you're gonna get younger players, you're gonna develop
it was like
together.
Something. People were like, oh, Boylan knows how to talk to the players. He's worked with them behind the scenes. He knows this or that. Guy didn't know shit. Colleton didn't know shit. We got both Dumbos out now. and two coaches that, I mean, I'd ride or die for. Derek King, Billy Donovan. Who knows if King's here until
well, at least Boylan didn't make the Bulls players watch like SpongeBob, like how Fred Hoiberg did with Pau Gasol and Derrick Rose and all those guys.
No shit, did he really do that?
Yeah, he like made them watch like a kids show or something. I forgot.
I'm gonna look this up because, like, I can't imagine that there's many professional basketball players who would sit down and like actually watch SpongeBob.
It might have not been SpongeBob, but it was like a kids show. I forgot what it was, but it's out there.
Okay, I know, I believe it.
But going into a little bit more Bulls talk, the only two losses the Bulls have had on the road are Golden State and the Nets. I'm pretty sure. Or no, the Sixers. It's the Sixers. So they lost to two pretty good teams.
Yep.
What's your final prediction for where the Bulls will be in the division and in the Eastern Conference standings?
I've tweeted it already. They're gonna go 70. 70.
Whoa.
4-8. Is that what it is?
We already have 4 losses, and we're not even through half the season. So how are we going to be at 8?
Basketball, dude. That's my take. That's been my take. I thought this team was going to be really good when
I
they took that
preseason picture. I have us at like 55 wins. 55
yeah, I mean,
60.
realistically, I'll call it like 60. Let's go 61. I think that's
Jack just rides a little too hard into the Reinsdorf's ownership now. He just simps for the Reinsdorfs.
Good ownership group. Both teams doing well. Can't complain.
I mean, at least the Bulls have a better chance to win a playoff series.
Right. We'll see. They haven't touched it yet, so you never know.
True. But the thing that I love about the DeRozan stuff is just, I'll be honest, I was one of the people who thought he was kind of washed and he was kind of done. And to see this rejuvenation of his game and the motivation, I honestly think that, no offense to the San Antonio Spurs, but they just didn't stimulate him like enough mentally, like from a basketball standpoint of like the games didn't matter, so why play hard? You know what I mean? When you don't have a team around you and you're in the Western Conference where 10 seeds are competing for a playoff spot, if you're one of the 3, 4, 5 teams out of it, it doesn't really matter for you. I think that a big thing to do with it. But now DeMar too knows he has a leadership role. And the one thing that I'm going to throw out there for the Bulls to make the finals is DeMar only never made a finals in Toronto because he had LeBron in the same conference. LeBron's in the West. Does DeMar make it over
DeMar's time.
Is it DeMar's time? Kyle Lowry got his ring. He can just chill in South Beach. In nice warm weather, wait for Aaron Rodgers to get there next season.
Time.
But DeMar, I don't know. I'm feeling it.
I like that.
DeMar holding up in the Eastern Conference chip. He could beat KD. Why not? He could beat KD.
Not. Just KD.
Yeah,
it's not like KD. Harden's much of a threat. Yeah. Nothing.
I mean, yeah, Harden doesn't get foul calls anymore. So what are we worried about with Harden?
He's bad player.
Yeah, they have Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, what? Jumps up out of the gym once a season now. Can't even do it.
Yep.
So, like, what are we worried about here? Steve Nash isn't coming into play for them. Like, come on. But
you know who I'm not worried about?
Who?
Keegan Murray.
Okay, so I was about to say a very similar thing. I like that. In sync right here. So
that
I'm not.
Guy.
So Keegan is mean the hype. Now, keep in mind we have played no real teams yet. So I'm going to lay off on making too big of a take for Iowa basketball.
Oh, no. Make the takes. I'm ready to make them too.
So I predict Keegan's going between 20 to 30 in the first round. That's where I have him going.
Okay.
I respect that. Project player, but he's going to be super uber athletic. I think he'll win big. I think he'll be first 10 or first team all Big Ten this year. That's my prediction. I think he's going to be even better than what a lot of people are putting him at right now. I think Jabo is going to be an efficient 3-point shooter, but he's going to get less and less minutes as the season goes on. I think Fran will phase him out a bit. I think Pat, dude, I have Pat averaging Wheezy type of points this year, like 15 points a game. That's what I have him averaging. That might be a little high, but I have him between 12.5 to 15 a game. and him just being uber athletic, being able to move both sides of the floor. I'm excited. I'm going to Carver tonight for the game, and hopefully the Hawks win by 30.
So two things. One, I think Rebraca will get going more offensively as the season goes on. He's only averaging 5.5 right now. I think this is also very much a different role for him offensively, where he's been like that post guy who needs to like flash out and then like go to different areas, and he's like more had the ball in his hand, it looked like, at other places. But I'm of the mindset where I think like J-Bo could still get minutes where like they'll need points, and obviously if he J-Bo, it'll be tough for him to maybe stay in that rhythm. But I expect Connor to, like, he's been getting banged up the last couple of games. I don't know what Fran's usage of him will really be this year.
Connor just needs to be the coach on the floor. I've said it. He doesn't need to do anything else but be the coach on the floor.
I know, but he every time he steps on the floor so far this year, it looks like he's gonna get hurt. It's like,
I know.
Fuck that.
I know.
You can't have that. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect of Chris Murray. Really, I think he's actually exceeding my expectations, even against teams like what we've played.
Oh, I see him being as like a seventh man. I see him as a key rotational guy, because it's like, okay, you have a physical clone almost of Keegan, where if he just specializes in one or two of the things
and what Keegan did last year.
Yeah, we have perfect. We're going to be running the floor with that length. I love it, because for me, I've said it all along, and we talked to one of the coaches about it on an earlier pod. They love length, speed, running the floor, shooting threes, and having guys that can play multiple positions. They're not going to be Luka Garza post up. We're feeding you the ball 25 times a game. That's not how we're playing. We're not playing through one guy. We're playing through whoever's hot that game. That's how we're playing. And I love that. I love that anybody can get a touch at any time, and we're going to be able to just move the ball movement. I love it. And I think that's going to be one of our big advantages, actually, going up against the Indianas, the Michigan States, the Michigans this year, the Ohio States, where they kind of have dudes supplanted into, their spots, and they're going to be playing through those guys. I just have Iowa shocking teams. Just being like, okay, they don't have Luka, they don't have Wieskamp, CJ Frederick's gone. Who do they have? They have Keegan. Oh, this young sophomore. Okay, we have nothing to worry about. And then boom, we just run the floor on. Just run the floor.
Who do we play tonight?
NC Central, I'm pretty sure.
Fucking who cares? I mean, it's one of those where
we're playing NC Central, and they're 0-2.
Okay, yeah. Well, you hope everyone gets minutes. You hope everybody.
They're 0-2. They lost to Memphis by 40 or 39, and they lost to Richmond by 10. So if we don't beat them by at least 40, and Memphis is the 11th best team in the country, so I have 30 to 40 points, I'll be a little worried going into our next game against another tough opponent, the Alabama State Hornets.
Oh, yes. Perennial national powerhouse they are.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to change gears too quickly, but I am watching Daily Wager, and it does spark my memory that when Doug Kezirian was on here, he said he really liked the pick of Iowa under 7.5 wins, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they at 8 right now after beating Minnesota? Looks like that bet didn't hit Doug.
Yeah, sorry, Doug. Compared to our guy Kevin Nagandi, who loves Iowa football.
I was actually really taken back when Doug said that, because I was like, I think Iowa's got a really easy schedule in terms of like what Big Ten schedules look like. Like they got a very first 6 games hard. Last 6, it really was like you could win 4, go 4-2 or whatever. But the first 6, I don't think many people had them coming out 6-0. And I think that screwed a lot of people's bets. But hey, they don't ask how, they just ask how many in the end. And yesterday was not yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I don't know, Saturday. It was one of those where it didn't really matter how the Hawkeyes won. It was ugly. But hey, they got to win. The offense looked like shit. I didn't think they looked very good from when I was at the game, truthfully.
Yeah, Jack, share your game day experience. So for those who don't know, Jack hasn't been to a game all year. It was an absolute disgrace to be a Hawkeye fan and not go to Kinnick once since we came back. And Jack finally made the choice, the smart, intelligent, wise choice, to attend an Iowa football game.
Yep, I took it upon myself. I treated myself to some of the wonderful stadium beverages that they had to offer.
Oh yeah. How many rounds did you make to the stadium beverage stand?
Just like 2 or 3. It wasn't very excessive. We were just having a good time. One of my friends had a cup of like wine. I was like, "You're crazy." It's the first
Got a cup of wine?
Yeah, he had a cup of wine. I was like, "You're insane."
He's really trying to help Gary Bard out.
Yeah, but it was actually the same price as beer, which was kind of weird.
Okay.
But Kinnick was rocking, and the one thing that I really noticed from the offense,
wow, shocker, a home blackout. Kinnick was rocking.
It was rocking. They were like under 3 yards per carry, which was not good. And then the one in the second half when they threw it to Charlie Jones, he put a move on the corner. I mean, they knew exactly what coverage Minnesota was in. They waited all game, continued to see if they played that same coverage. It was cover 3, and then they fucking got him. And it was like, great. I'm glad Padilla can make that throw, and he can get out of the pocket and not get sacked and throw it away and not lose yards. That helps. But truthfully, other than that, like his floor is Petrus's like okay, but I don't really know what his ceiling is yet, but it's already more than Petrus's.
Because
he just doesn't have the arm like him.
He's just well, dude. Here's the trade-off: is Petrus had the big arm, but rare a couple times a game made the big throws because Brian would never call the big throw plays. But it's interesting how when they play action and they roll the ball out a little bit more, there are more big throws that happen because he doesn't have to stand in the pocket and the defense doesn't have to be set and prepared for that deep throw. So for me, it's just Padilla opens up the offense, makes it more exciting to watch. Like it. So then, I think Iowa fans are starting to become, the group of people where you want to turn it off when the offense is on, and you only want to turn it on when the defense is on because that's when exciting things happen. And now it's like, okay, we have a quarterback that he has his flaws, but we can ride with this guy a little bit more because we know we're not going to make the same mistakes over and over and over again, do the same things. Because in my opinion, that's what got Petrus hurt against Wisconsin is they just blitzed him. They knew he couldn't go anywhere. He was trapped and he would just get hit. Like, what you do? And like Iowa fans have said best on Twitter around, just around town. He's a statue. Petrus is a statue. He's a great teammate. He's a team first guy. Every guy on that football team I've talked to, I heard from, has said they ride with Petrus. They respect him as a teammate. But Padilla, dude, it's proven, dude. Like some of the things that would have gotten Petrus stuck. Because, dude, think about how many times a game Petrus would get blitzed or would get pressured, and he would think he saw a look and realized the guy wasn't open, and he'd pump fake it. By the time he went to release it again, he was already getting touched. Padilla, you don't have that issue. He's not hesitant because if he doesn't see the look, he just rolls out and runs.
Yeah. No, and something to keep in mind, obviously, the depth charts come out for this week, and right now they have Keegan Johnson at receiver number 1. Tyrone Tracy,
I love it.
I don't think is
he's a backup.
Top 4.
Yeah, he's a backup.
He's number 4. Either way, I think that's good. I think they're finally waking up and realizing, hey, Keegan Johnson's like legit. But another thing that Chad
and not to interrupt you, but Arlen Bruce moved up in the depth chart too.
Yep, Arlen Bruce
on the
well.
depth chart
he
now.
needs more touches as well. Chad Leistikow tweeted earlier today that no Terry Roberts this week, but that also Spencer Petrus has had 2 good days of practice and should be available for Saturday. And so that, to me, I don't know if it says short leash for Alex. I think Alex will start, but I don't want Iowa to get into this idea of
a 2 quarterback system.
We're in a 2-minute, we're in a 4-minute offense. We need to push the ball down the field. We don't think Alex can give us that straight drop back potential. Let's go to Petrus. And I think that is the dumbest idea possible. And if they actually like roll Petrus out there, I'll throw up in my mouth. I don't know which fucking Hall of Fame coach said it. I said it so many times. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. We can't do that shit. Like, we're not that. I don't think that can happen. And I sure hope not. Like Padilla, his numbers from Minnesota did not look great. He had 2 good passes to Charlie Jones, which was really it. A couple rollouts to like Laporta. Keegan Johnson made that play what it was, but like he didn't do a lot. But I don't think it's like enough to sit here and say Petrus is like the guy, you know. And I hope Kirk isn't positioning to have like him ready to go, you know. Like it's his job that he's like ready to take back. Like Jesus Christ, dude. Like let's just let Padilla get a chance, you know. Is he a year? I think he's a year younger than Petrus. Am I wrong, or are they the same age?
They're the same age.
Okay, so then I can't hear the seniority argument on Chaos part where it's like we should go back to him. It's like he beat a middle of the pack decent Big Ten defense at home. Didn't have a great game. He had one ball. I mean, in the first quarter, he threw to my buddy on Minnesota. It went right through his hands. That was his only play where it was like, eeh. Everything else is pretty fine. So. Look, I think if they roll back with Padilla, it'll be good. Illinois is an interesting matchup because I think, like Minnesota, they'll be able to control the line of scrimmage and like run the ball when they want to down the field. It'll be a matter of like getting deep enough to kick an easy field goal or score touchdowns. I think Iowa's actually got a chance to put up some points. I think that'll be exciting and good for Padilla going long run. Because that Nebraska game's starting to look a little hairier than I thought.
Yeah, but it's so bad to say. I'm still not worried about Nebraska.
Oh, man, I've just been saying it all year. I've just fucking that game. It is Iowa's to lose, and that's such a bad. You can't.
The pressure's on. Don't get me wrong, because it's Nebraska. If we come back with a loss, that's our season and everything. But like, we're the big brother.
Oh, no, I don't get it twisted. Like, I'm all on that page, too. It's just that dream crusher mentality is very infectious for a program who's dying for a win against Iowa, who's one of their bigger rivals. It's they always say, like, you throw the book out for rivalry games, and you always just say it'll be like a one-score game. It'll probably be like that with Nebraska this year, like fucking tight. And we got the kicker that'll, break their heart, but I'm still slightly nervous. I'll say it, slightly nervous about that game. And I haven't been nervous for many games this year. Slightly nervous.
Yeah, I know. The thing that was crazy about the Minnesota game was that we came out and they controlled possession by a lot. Minnesota was winning in every category. And for us,
they beat us in every category that says you should win the football game.
And for us to pull it off just shows the fight these guys have and the grit, I think, of this team. And we're not losing another game this year because we can't. Yep. Like, we were number 2 in the country at one point. We want to get to as high as we can be still. We want to get to a major bowl. Like, we're ready to do this. So I think Illinois. So here's my thing with the Illinois, my prediction. I think we're going to win that. I think it might be a little competitive early on. But you're going to be – I've said it, even when we did our, schedule look preview back in August. We won the game already when their head coach has a tiger hawk tattooed on his leg.
And he might not even coach. He's got COVID.
Right. So, okay. So you have the assistant coach coaching against Kirk Ferentz. Now, if it was Brian versus the assistant, I would be a little worried. But we still got Kirk. And we got Phil Parker. If we lose this, we do not deserve any of the accolades we've been given throughout this year. When we were at our best.
Illinois' offensive line took it to Minnesota, and ours couldn't. Yeah. So we're going to have our work cut off for us, definitely defensively, where Illinois is going to get some first downs probably. We're just going to need to score that damn ball.
Fine, let's just let them get field goals. Let's just give them field goals. That's all I want. That's just not too many field goals.
Right.
Our offense.
Right. Because for every 2 field goals we allow, we have to score like a touchdown. And knowing Brian, I don't know if we can really score a touchdown on command.
So my biggest question, and the thing I've wondered lately, is what is Nico's role now?
Like give Arlen blows. Like seriously, Arlen's taken over a lot of the slot snaps.
Is like and dude, Charlie Jones. Let's just talk about former TCOC guest Charlie Jones for a minute in this Minnesota game. One, he got the Big Ten catch of the week. if Big Ten kind of put that there. But dude, that catch, what was it like in the stadium with that catch?
Oh,
and please
dude,
tell me you were still there when you saw that.
No, I stayed for the entire game. Are you talking about the second one?
The first one.
So the first one, he was coming towards us on the first one, and it was a good ball. He threw him open, and Charlie just, dude, he's ice. He's. I listened to Kirk's post game. Might have been after the game or maybe this week. I don't know, either or. But he said like Charlie was one of those guys where like he bugged the shit, I feel like, out of Kirk to get him on the field and give him those snaps. And it's paid Kirk dividends to finally give in and just say, all right, fuck it. Let's give this returner who's really risky and ballsy and likes to make a chance on the field. And I mean, he said Charlie's really worked at it his entire offseason to get to this point to like be a receiver. He's a legit receiver on the outside now. Like legit doesn't have to be put into motion. He is a receiver. I think last game like really affirmed that. He is a receiver. That's cool.
I mean, the thing that I was looking at that was so cool watching Charlie was, I think back to when I went to spring ball and you were looking at his footwork and the dedication and time he was putting into everything. And everybody was just saying, this kid looks good. Like he's serious. He's locked in. He was just, when he wasn't going, he was, practicing, like, he was doing like the Kobe thing almost a little bit of like the mental, like, what am I doing now on the field, but there's no ball in my hands right now type of thing. Just like running plays in his head. Just seems so locked in that like now, dude, like when he had a game where he had two receptions, but he had 100+ yards with a touchdown, a huge touchdown too. It's just awesome to see. He came in as a walk-on, had to prove himself. It's just sick to see what, a guy like that. And, one of the things I've thought about with a guy like Charlie Jones is I was one of the few schools where a guy like that can really be an impact player, because one thing Kirk never cares about is what's your rating, what's the hype, what's your social media following, where were you in the 24/7 rankings this year? I don't care about any of that. Doesn't make you a football player. You come here, we figure it out, you're nothing and we build you up. And guys like that come through, like a guy like Arlen, who everybody was hyped about, or even like Tyler Goodson. Like Tyler Goodson had to prove himself. He was in a 3-back rotation when he first got here. And now look where he is, So it's just Iowa football, man.
No, it's Iowa football. It's fucking Iowa football. It's all you can say in the end. It's just Iowa football. They've still got a chance to win 10 games. Still got an outside chance. How perfect
would it be if we do it at Nebraska?
Yeah, like still got an outside chance at that Big Ten championship if some more dominoes fall, which they very well could. Big question. If Caleb Shudak has to kick a game winner at Nebraska this year, yes,
what does he do if he hits the game winner?
Ooh, I honestly don't find Caleb to be the type where he'll give him like a suck it or like really rub it into Nebraska.
I have my guess.
I think he's just gonna give like a goddamn hug to the holder.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna give a hug. I don't think he's gonna say hug.
I was gonna say he's gonna jump up into the holder.
Yeah, he'll give a jump definitely, but that guy is he's just gonna be so fucking happy to be in that moment if he gets there. Like he's. I mean, for a guy that's he sat behind the fucking All-American, like and they're legit, like they look like the same exact player. Like
what I'm mad about is it's his last year, bro. I'm like, imagine if we had him for 3 years.
But I think it's also ironic that he said when he came on that he likes to watch Cairo Santos film and watch what he does and what Cairo's done. I mean, while he's been with the Bears so far, knock on wood, I mean, he's been pretty lights out other than the one PAT miss. But
yeah, he's made Bears fans chill out about bringing Robbie Gould back.
Right. And, Robbie hasn't even, I don't think, kicked this year for the Niners. So I don't give a shit about Robbie right now. I love my kicker. We have legit nearly the best kicker in the league. Maybe one of them. And our kicker watches those videos. So, I mean, it's really cool. I think, God, it would be so fitting for us to get that 10th win and just lock up. Winning our destiny and just letting those dominoes fall down.
I want the Orange Bowl. I'm calling it right now. I want the Orange Bowl.
Who would you not want to see in the Orange Bowl?
Right now, want to see. Well, is Orange Bowl ACC team? Yeah. I mean, the team I wouldn't want to see, I'll be quite honest, and I'm going to get some shit from some people for saying this, but I don't want to see Pittsburgh. I don't want to see Kenny Pickett.
I haven't really watched Pittsburgh that much.
Kenny Pickett, dude, is
one
great.
Guy.
Is great.
One guy.
I literally, when I watch football now and I see Kenny Pickett, I'm like, if he was our quarterback, we wouldn't just be undefeated. We would jump Georgia and be number one. That is my take.
One guy, not concerned.
But who would you take? Who would you be afraid of?
I'm honestly not afraid of any team to play Iowa. Like I'm not. I think our style can play with any conference other than a really good stretch Pac-12 team this year. I think they would give us a problem.
But like in Oregon?
Yeah, like in Oregon or like a Utah. The Utah would beat the piss out of us.
I'm not worried about Utah.
But like, point remains, like I think Iowa can play well with just about anybody. I think they can get the pressure, they can get the looks they want. I mean, the people they'll be going against haven't been looking at Iowa for the last 5 years, and that's what everybody in the Big Ten is. And you've seen Iowa really need to like make extra adjustments the last couple weeks. And I mean, that's the game of football. It's a chess game, and you always got to make those adjustments, be a step ahead. And I love it. I mean, you could see the chess game with how they were trying to get after Tanner Morgan at the end of the game, with how they were like stunting the inside of the line. And I was listening to Washed Up Walk-Ons, and there's a really good point that one of the guys made, Kevin Ward, and he was talking about how Logan Lee, whenever he's inside, he's trying to do those like twist stunts.
Mm-hmm.
You can get called for it, and it was on the Van Valkenburg sack, but they did that stunt, and Lee came, and what you do is like you grab the guard and you hold him and bring him with you. And Van Valkenburg hadn't looped yet to come inside for Morgan, and it was like Logan Lee could really get called for a holding right here. If the ref, like the judge right there standing right next to the backer, sees that, and he's like, ooh, that's fucking holding, he could definitely have thrown it right there. But that's like the little things where I was like, we're not bigger than them, but if we take our momentum one way, these fat asses can't stop theirs. So we'll just take them that way, and then we'll have Zach loop around. It was awesome just to see them play around and find their little holes to like attack. It was Iowa football all the way this past week. And like you said, gritty. I think this team could win 10 games. Like we said, they've got like an 19% chance. I think it jumps now.
Yeah.
They're buzzing. I'm excited.
No. Dude, I mean, for me, I hated we lost to Wisco at Wisco. I really wanted to win in Madison during our time at Iowa. Purdue, it was Purdue. I'm not going to talk about that anymore, but I don't see these two. If we lose these 2 games, it credits all the haters who've hated on Iowa football all year. So for me, I just want to prove those people wrong. I want us to validate what Hawks fans love about this team. And honestly, depending on how the last 2 weeks go with some of these higher ranked teams right now playing, each other in some of these rivalry games, we could end up in a good spot. We can end up still possibly in the Big Ten championship, but even if we don't, we could end up at a really good bowl if we win out. And I just want to see this team after having our bowl game canceled last year. And, we lost, last year we lost the teams in the first 2 games by a margin of 3 total points. Like if those games would have been a little different, who knows what they would have gotten to experience. I just want to see these guys get to enjoy postseason play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the rankings, and I won't like read all the teams just to like bore people's brains and really mash them together. But the college football playoff one's the one that really matters right now. And I look right above Iowa, who's at 20, 19 Purdue, 18 Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, can these guys just get out of here? I don't think Minnesota can beat Wisconsin. I don't know who Purdue plays the rest of the year. Do you know off the top of your head who Ohio State plays? You don't have to.
Well, they're going to play Michigan.
Oh, that's right. I think they played
a rivalry game.
Oh, it's rivalry week, right?
Well, last week usually. I thought they usually play last week.
No, I think it's this upcoming week.
Wait, I'm looking at Ohio State real quick.
So that makes sense. So
they're playing Michigan State this week. They're playing at Ohio. Michigan State's going to Ohio State. Okay. I knew they didn't play each other. And then next, it's going to be Ohio State, Michigan, which this is where I'm like, it gets interesting. Because Ohio State can fall, Michigan State could fall, Michigan could fall. All three of them could fall if one of them, loses to each other. Like there's so many things there that imagine if Harbaugh finally beats Ohio State. One, a 2-loss Ohio State team, I don't think gets in if they don't win the Big Ten championship. And that might
they wouldn't get in either way.
Yeah, then Michigan gets in, I think.
No, you know who'd get in? No, I mean, if Ohio State wins it and they still have 2 losses, you know who sneaks in, and I'm just going to piss everybody off. But somehow, some way, Oklahoma will not be good enough. It'll be Notre Dame.
Well, no. I'm not talking about CFP. I'm just talking about Big Ten championship right now.
Oh, who cares? To make it to the playoff. We're just trying to
get to the playoff. That's what I'm talking about, to get to the playoff. I mean, if Notre Dame makes it, I'm going to go ballistic.
I know. Well, they've got a real inside shot right now, unless they don't give Cincinnati their respect.
I know. Dude, they need to be banned from the CFP for 5 years. There needs to be a 5-year Notre Dame ban. I've been saying it forever. Because every time Notre Dame's given the golden opportunity over other teams to go to the CFP because it's good for college football's pockets that Notre Dame makes it, so they sell hotel rooms, they sell tickets, they have a whole fan base come, and really just kind of a bandwagon fan base. Like, most of the people that are Notre Dame fans never get a chance to ever enroll at Notre Dame. Right. Because, their fan base, the school might be good, but their fan base, they're a little bit lower on the IQ scale than most people. In my opinion.
That's a gross generalization, but continue.
But why every time they go, they fail? They tee it up so Notre Dame wins the national championship. Manti Te'o at the Heisman race, fake girlfriend, all these stories, everything's great. Boom, they fail. Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl, they fail. Like, come on. Like, when are they going to get it that this independent garbage team with this great history will never make a champion in college football? Like, it's beating a dead horse. It's just bringing Notre Dame in is beating a dead horse.
I think they just released the new college football rankings.
Yeah, they're revealing them right now.
I'll be damned. All right, we're up to 17. We're above Pitt, so that's ironic, Sam.
Go.
Good call.
Sorry, Schittsburg.
Oklahoma dropped down to 13, as they should.
Let's go.
Wisconsin's at 15. I already said that.
But if we win out and if Wisconsin loses one game, we jump Wisco. So that's easy.
Oh God, give me the rest of the rankings.
Wait. 2 teams currently tied for Big West. Check. Never mind. They were just saying if there's a tiebreaker, Wisconsin gets it because they beat us.
Either way, we see where Iowa is in the new rankings. Don't really care. Just got another job to do, another game to win. Wake Forest, what they get? I can't see.
Oh, dude, I can't stand Wake Forest.
They're number 10. So
I can't say, dude. I have friends on the Wake Forest team, and I see all their posts, and they're like, "Wow, we are so good. We're Wake football," and I'm like,
they're pretty gritty.
You're only good. They kind of remind me, actually, I will admit, like a little bit of Iowa identity in the ACC, but they're only good because Clemson like sucks this year. That's the only reason they have a chance at making the ACC championship.
You can't hate them for being good.
But dude, you know who I wish was the QB instead of Sam Hartman? Which mad spec to Sam Hartman. He was on QB1 season 2.
Don't know how you're not specting Sam Hartman, but
I want Tavon Bowers to be leading Wake.
Oh my God,
bro!
Like,
imagine
you have any skin in this,
bro. Imagine. Well, actually, fun
little story.
Tavon Bowers QB1 first season.
Bowers. Yeah. No,
wow. That is putting such disrespect on Tavon Bowers. He now is QB at Gardner-Webb, just so everybody has an update. But my brother and Tavon are pretty tight. My brother, a year ago or 2 years ago now, made a Tavon Bowers fan IG account, okay? Because he is so locked in on the Tavon Bowers grind. Tavon gave it so much love, bro. Was reposting everything. I've never seen an athlete repost a fan page like what Tavon did for this one. It was amazing.
You got anything else?
I'm good, dude. I gotta end on Taylor Bowers. Like, that is such a high note.
Yeah, I guess I gotta go back and rewatch some of those QB1s because a lot of those names are coming to fruition now.
Dude, we should do a QB1 recap series. That would be epic. That'd be epic. Think about it. Like, where are they now? Like, where are they now too? Like, think about Jake Fromm.
What type of
Jake
Fromm?
He is the backup. He is the backup to Mitch Trubisky. He is the backup to Mitch Trubisky. When you see the QB1, you think he's Matthew Stafford. Just saying. You think he's going to be the next Matthew Stafford.
They did make it up to be like he was the next, like, savior.
Yeah, they did.
Georgia football. And that's why our boy is now our kid.
Tay Martell slinging it at UNLV this year. Just absolutely slinging it.
Really slinging it.
He's the Cam Newton of the team this year, bro. They bring him in 5, 6, 8 snaps a game. Balls out in a little 2-yard run, gets a little throw that hits the dirt. You gotta love seeing Tate Martell back in the game, bro. He has a year left of eligibility too. I love it. I love it.
Well, what else I love is the fact that we have a Big Grove giveaway going right now. If you guys haven't already, go to both of our social media accounts at Instagram and Twitter. Interact with the post, like, retweet, repost, tag some friends. Tell us what you like about Big Grove, your favorite drink. All those good things. We'll be doing giveaways for the rest of this month and for a little longer. So let's get this thing going. Like always, guys, that same time, same place. We will see you guys later.